You guys, I am telling you, you will not believe what just happened. This is insane. ICCT, this whole day was an epic disaster for a lot of people, including me. I'm going to break it down for you in this episode. I am inside my traveling trading station, trading on my Starlink in Canada. The internet today has been terrible, and I just watched live as ICCT squeezed up over 644% to a high of over $40 a share. It happened live during this recap where I was analyzing my trades from this morning, what I thought I did right, what I did wrong, and whoa, that was insane. This was a wild recap. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please hit the thumbs up and let's jump in, look at those charts, and start breaking it down. Okay, so yesterday this was halted pending news, and I kind of had a suspicion that they were going to say there's no news to account for the move because it was halted for such a long time. This is a headline I wasn't expecting at all. So the headline is that they did this was a SPAC merger. So it brought an OTC stock up to the NASDAQ market, and they said today trading of ICT securities was halted on NASDAQ when it was identified that certain shares did not convert using the post-business combination exchange ratio. And the exchange ratio is something like 29-1. So if you had shares of the OTC stock prior, those were being converted and turned into the shares of the new company, but some of them didn't exchange at the right ratio. And that can actually be a really serious problem because let's say that some of them didn't exchange at the correct ratio, and therefore people had more shares than they should have had and started just selling them. Hey, I hear my son. Hey, let me finish this video and then I'll come out, okay? All right. So that could create a situation where people oversell the stock and put themselves in a short position. That happened earlier this year with a stock that did a reverse split, but the shares were not divided by the ratio of the split, which is crazy. These kind of mishaps should not happen. In any case, I've never really seen these things happen until this year, but it's happened in a couple different ways. So that was the headline, but there wasn't a lot of detail behind it. And so this morning, they said it was going to start trading at market open today, Wednesday morning. We'll resume trading at market open. Well, that wasn't even correct because it started trading at like, let's see, what time was it? And you can see it hit a high of high was $18.73. Wow. Okay, so they said it was going to start trading at market open. It actually started trading, what was the time? Let's see, at 9 a.m. That's not market open. That's 9 a.m. All right, so I'm dealing with my internet. It keeps disconnecting. I keep reconnecting. Every few minutes, it's just like disconnecting. It'll probably happen during this broadcast. So I've just been basically just running this this ping right in my sort of side. So every time I see it, say, well, you'll see it. I'm sure it'll do it at some point here. So anyways, so I've been running this, and obviously I just kept losing my internet, and I was like, man, this is so frustrating. I mean, I was seeing red. I was just getting so irritated. Oh, here we go. It just hit a new high right there. That's a nice curl up to a high now of 1897. So I wanted to trade this. It was moving higher. Oh, see, request timed out right there. So I lost connection just for a second there. So I wanted to trade it. There was also DBGI. And in the process of logging out, logging back in, I got two trades to start the day. One was on DBGI. The other was on ICCT. I was green on both. I was up 500 on ICCT. I was up 500 on DBGI. And then I got back in DBGI, but I accidentally bought 3,000 shares, which is my default order entry when I log into my platform, even though I only wanted to buy 1,000. And I promptly gave back the little profit I had on it and went down $1,600 because I lost like 70 cents a share on my 3,000 shares. Now that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't fumbling with logging in, logging out, logging in, logging out. But like right now, you could see I don't even have data. I've to reconnect here, I need to actually log out, save layout, log back in, enter my password again, and so on and so forth. So I keep doing this, you know, basically every time I lose my connection. So anyway, so we have ICT resume trading. It surprised me by resuming at 9, right? I think it surprised everyone because we thought it was going to resume at the open, which is what we were told. And basically what happens is it resumed pretty much at the halt price from yesterday, which was pretty bullish, to be honest. It squeezes up to 629. I tried to buy, and you know what starts happening is when you start losing connection, we'll see if I lose connection again, if I lose quotes, what'll happen is if I reconnect, sometimes what it'll say down here is it'll say read write access denied, blah, 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 blah. And I have to log out and log back in. So my first trade, orders denied because of these log in, log out issues. All right, so I missed that first pop up to $6. All right, so it goes up to 6. I obviously missed that trade completely. Then it, sorry, where am I? Then it goes up a little bit higher. It goes up to 7 right here. I try to get back in. I fumbled my gosh darn orders on it. And let's see. I ended up going red about $2,700 on the day. So I ended up buying ICCT at about $9 a share right up here. And of course I stop out as it comes back down to 840. And I was like, God dang it. You know, I'm about to lose my mind here. I keep getting disconnected. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I shouldn't have even tried today. This was the dumbest thing that I've done in a while. Full degenerate mode here because I don't even have good internet. What am I even doing? Why am I even trying to trade when I don't have good internet? This is a rookie move, right? Trading is hard enough without adding these types of things. So I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not even looking back. I see it dropped. It comes back up. I was like, kind of still watching because I was doing some other work. Sells off a little bit. It's also pouring rain here, so it's not really a lot that I could do. I was just kind of hunkering down. And I see it halted down here, and I was like, man, this thing is just so choppy. And then I missed it going up. The farmer from down the road came up and brought some cucumbers and some green beans, and then his wife brought some cookies. Very nice. And then we were showing them the new banister. And anyways, so, you know, and they wanted me to look at the van. And so I got distracted for a little bit. And then I sit back down and it's at, it's 4 o'clock. So I sit back down at like 4:05 and I see it like right here. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, let's open up the computer. So I open up the computer, open up my trading platform again. And I traded it on this move up with my best exit being at, what was it? 1730s or 1740s. It pulled back here. It curls back up right through here up to 18, up to 19, right? High right there was 1873. And then just now we got this move right there. We're showing 1919. So what's my connection? So yeah, I just timed out again. Timed out a couple times. Timed out. So I feel like I'm maybe starting to get out of sync with the market. Right now, you know, looking at this level 2 and looking at the sort of position of this, we're hanging out right underneath that pre-market or that after hours high of 1970. The fact is, I've already gone so far degenerate today, I don't even feel like I should take another trade, but at the same time, one would wonder what might happen should this break 1950. Would it go up to 1970? Oh, there it goes! Golly. Control yourself, my man. You know how it is. Something told me that might happen, and I clutch my hands. This is me sitting on my hands, not taking the trade, but oh boy. It's just the fact that sometimes you got to get out while the going's good and not overstay your welcome too much. But boy, we are now up 275%. This is going higher. And the fact is, if I didn't take this trade right here, should I really be trading it right here? That's something I struggle with sometimes. If I miss that really good setup, should I, trade it at this level? And look at the 5-minute chart. You've got 5 green candles in a row. I'm going to be the schmuck that gets in at 22 and watches it drop to 20. You know what I mean? Like, this is where things get can get really sloppy. There's a 9,000 share bid there at 21 though. So in any case, I don't know how high this is going to go. This was a very unusual halt. There's 2250. There's 20. Well, look at that. 21.99. Just a second ago, you saw 2260 on the level 2, right? There's 2290. 2290 right now. But just see how fast that can drop. So now you've got 10-cent spread, but there's a seller at 23. So there's some selling up there at 23. 23. Maybe it's shorts. Maybe it's profit taking. We're up 300%. And, I can't say it's too much of a disaster because I am green on it. Now we're skipping a $0.50 up to 23.50, right? So this is when things start to move quickly. You've got, right now, for a second there, like a 4-cent spread, 23.30 on the ask. 2,000 share bid, 23.10, 23.50 on the ask. Then it's 80, 23.84, 23.85, 3,800 shares. Next up is 24. Look, 2-cent spread right there. Look at that, 24.79. This has 69 million shares of volume. 24.84, 25.60, 25.55. This is a short squeeze happening right now. 25.55 on the ask, 24.25 on the bid, 26 on the ask. If you're short heavy, there's no way to unwind this position right now. It's just going straight up. 26.88, 26.88, 26.59 on the bid. And then, the thing is, like, it's, at what point do you, what do you do when you see something like this? Obviously one move, and this is tricky because if you had chased this, you would have been rewarded for sure. Look, I mean, there's no way you would have lost if you had chased that pretty much anywhere right here. All right, but let's watch what happens when that comes back and spanks you. So let's say you just bought it at 29. The high is 29.73. You're down $3 a share right now. On 2,000 shares, that's $6,000. That's not even a big position to be down that much. Sometimes with trading, you got to know, like I said, when the going's good, just to take your profit and get out. Because the fact is, even though I don't have anything, monumental today, $1,300 in the green is a heck of a lot better than $2,700 in the red. $1,300 a day, that's $300,000-$400,000 a year. These are good days. You've got to be grateful for it, and you've got to take those gains when you have it. You start overstaying your welcome, and you can give back profit like that. So I could see how someone could have chased this and given back some profit. Now you've got a high topping tail, 29.73. This is exciting though that we were able to get this live right here. And I do feel, I feel some FOMO right now, but imagine I take this like trade right here, right there, that ABCD pattern on the 1 minute, and all of a sudden my internet goes out for 2 full minutes. 2 full minutes of offline with no cell phone service, nothing. What if it's 4 minutes? What if it's 5 minutes? Look at what just happened in the last 5 minutes. So I suppose I'm looking forward to being home next week and back in my office for the rest of the year because being on the traveling trading station certainly does, there's a sacrifice to it. But there's also the reality that life is meant to be lived. And if you're able to get green, make a little money, and, live to trade another day, that's pretty good. So I'm in Canada, trading on the traveling trading station, locking up a measly $1,300. It's not a lot of money, but it certainly is a green day. It feels much better than being red. Left some money on the table, but leaving money on the table to me is better than giving back profit. I did not give back profit here because I am actually at my high of day right now. Even though it's not a lot, it is my high of day. This must have broken over 400%. 427%. Wow. Wild. That's pretty crazy. All right, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this recap. Who knows where this is going to go from here, but that to me, this is a volume top, high volume topping tail. Usually that marks the top. Now you could have said the same thing possibly with this candle right here, and that did mark the top for a period of time, before the reversal. Any swing trade short sellers, are going to obviously, I mean, they might have already just gotten liquidated out of that. And that liquidation is what can create those really, really big spikes. I just wish that, these would happen. There you go. The high there was 30.90, but this is bearish right now because look at how this is a topping tail, but it's 28.50 on the bid. That's 2 points down on the bid. So if now there's a few people that hit the market button and sell, okay, so someone just put out that big order. Did you see that big order that flashed? Now, there's two things that might be happening there. Someone might be putting out a big order because they're legitimately trying to buy 20,000 shares. Someone also might be putting out that order to try to cover a short position. And someone might be spoofing, putting out that order to try to get people to buy so they can fill a short position. 478% right now. 478%. And right there, see, I'm offline. So right now I'm offline. 34.77, my charts came up fast. 36, 37. Oh my God. This is epic right now. This is crazy. 500, there's a 10,000 share buyer right there. I'm going to have to think that's probably, I don't know. That's got to be someone covering a short. $40 a share coming up. Now I feel like I should have just traded it with like 100 shares, but wow, 600%, 644%. This is insane. So it's very important to maintain self-control and discipline when you're watching these types of moves because you can see how I mean, literally right now, I have the buying power to buy 10,000 shares, right? So all of a sudden, oh boy, imagine that. 10,000 shares right here at 40. I'm down 25,000 between the spread, right? 30,000 in the red right now. 40,000, almost 40,000. So a momentary lapse of judgment when you have some buying power in your account can cost you a tremendous amount of money. I'm telling you, I've done it before. All of a sudden you get that FOMO and you start punching those keys, you get a little frustrated, and now I'm offline. Oh, so that 10,000 shares just, is down $80,000 right there. That's a $100,000 loss. I'm sure there's people that just made and lost 100,000. Whether they lost it on the short side or lost it FOMOing in at the very top, that red candle. You know, I do, um, I suppose it's worth, asking myself, um, why didn't I trade this? It just went up as much as it did. Uh, but the whole thing today was that I haven't been able to maintain a steady internet connection. And that is a major problem when you're a day trader. This is not okay. This is not a safe time to trade when you have this internet issue. Now, if I'd been at home, I probably still wouldn't have traded. You want to know why? Because I probably would have made my money in the morning, whether it was 1,500 or 2,000 or 5,000 or maybe even 10 or 15. I would have made my money in the morning, and I would have said, "Hey, my job's done. I did my work. I don't need to overstay my welcome." Right? It's usually the degenerates that are trading this late in the day. I'm guilty of that today. I definitely came back and traded after hours and uh, could have gotten myself into a real situation on this. 644% gain at its peak. 644%. So now this candle has 90 seconds left on it. So let's see. I'll just do one share at 19. So I'll show you what's happening here. So I'm connected, but it's not letting me, it's giving me, so it rejected the first one, then the second two it placed. So, it's just, you get this weird stuff that happens when you go through these disconnection reconnections, and um, that's not when you should be trading. So I remember this happened on my trip to Maine a couple years ago as well. I was using the Wi-Fi that was at the place I stayed at, the Airbnb or whatever. So this summer I've traded in Europe, I've traded in Colorado, Kansas, Missouri, Kentucky, driving across West Virginia, coming back up through Pennsylvania, New York, and Maine. And the Starlink has been, unfortunately, hit or miss. Considering it's not cheap, the big Starlink in motion is 2,500 bucks. That's a $2,500 satellite dish on the roof, and it costs another 200 or so a month to run. I wish it was more consistent. I wish it was a bit better, but for other people's needs, it would be perfectly adequate. If you're watching Netflix and you don't mind the buffering, then you're fine. But for this kind of thing, it's such a shame. I hope it gets better. I really, really do. It's, there's so much potential there, and I'm glad they're still investing in that infrastructure, but right now it's just not quite there. In any case, yesterday and the day before were much better before the weather came in. So, but wow, again, I think that I definitely sat on my hands here. Sometimes you feel like having rules. On the one hand, if I'd had discipline and followed my rules today, I probably would have had a no trade day because I don't have good internet and I really shouldn't have traded at all. But I broke my rules, went in the red, and then was kind of frustrated the whole day. Refreshed my computer, saw it was squeezing up after hours, and said, "Screw it, I'm getting in," and rode that squeeze there up to 18 or whatever it was. Then this high was 1880 or 19, and then we watched as it moved up here. And at that point, I was like, "Man, you already dodged a bullet today. You went from minus 2,700 to plus 1,300 on kind of a degenerate move." So, but I had the right idea on that, and I just, but when do you stop? When do you walk away? Right? Because if I took that trade and let's just say it popped to 20, there was a 20,000 share seller, and then it flushed to 1850, and then I'm back to minus 2,700, holy smokes, I would feel like a real loser. So I'm going to stand behind the statement that today was a disaster. It was a disaster for shorts. It was probably a disaster for some longs, and it was a disaster for me. And tomorrow, I just need to press the reset button and shake it off, clear the slate. It's a new day. And I hope you enjoyed this epic, crazy, wild recap. I hope you hit the thumbs up. I hope you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys back here first thing tomorrow morning. Reminder as always that trading is risky. My results aren't typical, and there's no guarantee you'll find success. If you want to watch a couple full-length classes here on YouTube, I'll put the playlist right up here and another video right there as well for you guys to check out. And I'll see you back at it first thing tomorrow morning.